What are we doing today? We're planting peppers. Stay tuned to see what varieties I'm planting. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Two Hearts Urban Homestead. Today, we are going to be planting our peppers finally. I don't really start my peppers until about March because usually they can't go out until May, beginning of June. So I am in southeastern Wisconsin, and our weather right now is kind of up and down. We're 60 degrees today. We're going to be a little warm tomorrow, and then we're going to drop back down slowly back into the 30s. And our overnight temps are about in the 20s and 30s as well. So with that being said, my cool weather crops are doing great. I put some of them outside already. We're going to have to go through that on one of these videos. And then also some of my cool weather crops are still inside as well. So we will definitely have to go through that too. So just to go through really quickly what varieties I'm planting. I am planting a YOLO Wonder. I am planting a Coral Belle. I am planting, it's called a Grand Belle Mix. This is from Dollar Tree. I think I picked up these last year when they were still $4 for $1. They're for $4.25 this year. So I have 2 packs of those. I'm not sure how many's in there, but I do have some left over from the previous year. I did save some seeds last year, so I am going to try to plant those. This is my Giant Marconi. This is a pepper that I bought from one of the big box stores, and I am not sure if it was a hybrid or if it was an heirloom variety, so I'm not sure if I do plant this what exactly I'm going to get, if it's going to be true to what was growing or if it's going to be kind of a mix since it was a hybrid. I am going to do a Cubanelle, a Keystone Resistant Giant, a Golden Cali Wonder, Jimmy Nardello, one of my favorite peppers. I'm going to try this year. This is the new one that I picked up. I believe I picked this one up from Walmart, and it is called Jupiter. So I really want to try that. I know I've said it a couple of times that I don't plant tomatoes until April at least, but I'm going to start a few. And this is by far not all that I'm going to start, but I'm going to start 3 of our favorites. So my daughter's favorite is this honeycomb hybrid. So I will be going ahead and starting a few of those. And my 2 favorite, I have Cherokee Purple. And I also have this Kellogg's Breakfast. I prefer yellow tomatoes. They're not as acidic as the red tomatoes. And then the Cherokee Purple is more of like a deep smoky kind of flavor. Goes great on a sandwich. So I'm not a huge tomato fan by far, but these 2, if you don't really like tomatoes, try these 2. So stay tuned. I'm going to get the camera repositioned and then we'll go through how I start my seeds. Okay, so since you guys are in a much better position to see, what I do is I start out, I label with a date and the actual item that I'm planting. I do that beforehand. I do fill my tray. This is a 72 cell tray, and it is filled with Jiffy starter mix. Well, half of it is Jiffy starter mix and half of it is Pro Mix. Not for any specific reason. I just ran out of Pro Mix, so I had to get Jiffy Mix from the store. So before I get started again, I make my labels because if you're anything like me, you're bad with labeling. So once you get that done, I did water. Uh-oh, we're leaking a little bit on the table. Let me clean that up. I'll be right back. Okay, so now that we've got that spill cleaned up, we can move on. There was just a little bit of water still left underneath this because this is inside of another tray. So when I tilted it, it spilled a little bit. But what I was trying to show you guys, and I'll bring it a little closer, is I put 2 holes in each cell. You never want to plant just one seed because what if that seed doesn't come up? So I am definitely going to be putting 2 seeds in each hole. So what I'm going to do right now to get started, I'm going to kind of decide how many of each plant I want to plant and kind of get it marked out. I'm going to do tomatoes last because, again, I'm not sure off the top of my head how many I want to plant on those. So since the Jupiter is a new pepper for me, I want to plant at least maybe 3 of those. And this is the Coral Bell, which did really well for me last year. The peppers were a little bit small, but it did do well. Jimmy Nardello, I'm thinking I want at least 4 of those. So let me see if there's anything in this row that I would only want 2 of. Probably the Cubanelle. I don't need a lot of those. And then here I have, what is this? This is the Grand Bell. I'm gonna plant a few of those. Maybe I'll do the whole row of that one, just because I do want a variety of bell peppers. And then the Marconi, I'm thinking I want at least maybe 2 of those. 2 Keystone Giants. 2 of the Goldens. And maybe 4 of the YOLOs. So I have those in. And I am not going to plant the tomatoes directly next to the peppers. I'm actually going to move over to this side of the tray, which you guys probably can't see off camera, but I'm going to do 2 cells of the honeycomb, 2 cells of the Kellogg's, and 2 cells of the Cherokee. So that's what it looks like now. So we'll go through planting a few of these, and then I will go off camera, finish planting, and we'll come back and talk. So my first row, and I kind of want to go in order just so I don't make any mistakes or errors. I am going to go with, push this back just a little bit, the Coral Bell. So I have 1, 2, 3 cells of those, 2 holes in each one, so I'm going to need 6 seeds. And I don't really have a lot of seeds left for that one. So 6 seeds it is, and that leaves me with 2 for next year. They only come 15 in a pack, so I didn't have a lot to begin with. So if extra plants do come up, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Sometimes I try to keep them and save them, and sometimes I just have too many at that point and I've just got to let it go. So I'm going to take 2 seeds per cell and then 1 per hole. And I'll go back at the end and cover everything up. And then my next one is this Jupiter pepper. Says it's a sweet pepper. Again, this is a brand new one for me. It is a bell pepper. It says it is a stocky 30-inch plant with a dense leaf canopy. Affords fruit production from sunburn, large blocky 4-lobe fruits. Measure about 4.5 by 4.5 inches. So kind of like a bell pepper, but something different to try this year. So again, I need about 6 seeds on that one, and not very many come in there. I have about maybe 6 or 7 left in there for the Jupiter. So again, I'm gonna put 1 per hole. And since I'm done with that row, I'm gonna go ahead and cover it up. I use a fingernail polish bottle, and I just lightly go over it. It helps me kind of work the soil around. So it's like almost the perfect shape to push down the soil. Because remember, I made little holes. So I just need to actually push the soil down over. You got to use what you got sometimes. So that first row is finished. We're going to come back in just a moment. All right, so I'm back. So you guys may be saying, well, you only used this much of the tray and plus this last row over here with the tomatoes. What are you going to do with this whole other area? So I will be starting, well, I have started my hot peppers. And for my hot peppers, minus maybe the shishito, which isn't technically a hot pepper, in the King of the North, I have actually started pre-sprouting my peppers. So this is a shishito. I have cayenne, habanero, jalapeno, Big Jim, and King of the North. So all of these I put inside of a Tupperware dish with the top, close it up, and I sit it next to the heater vent in the house just to keep this all nice and warm, and it usually does help them sprout a little bit quicker. So peppers usually take somewhere around a week to start sprouting, so those should be sprouting any day now. And actually the shishitos have already started sprouting, so I'll see if I can get a little bit closer and show you. If you see that little tail right there, these are starting to sprout. So I won't do it today, but I would probably start, like, as they're sprouting in here, I'm going to start planting them in here as well. So over the next couple of days, the ones here, got to get the right angle with the little tail, which is the root that's starting to come out. Those will also go in here as well. So that's why I did leave a little extra room. I probably still will end up with 1 or 2 extra rows, but those will be to start my tomatoes if I do have extra rows, and I'll be starting those, the rest of those, I should say, in the next probably 2 weeks. So around April 1st for the rest of the tomatoes. Again, tomatoes grow really well for me. I've never had a problem growing tomatoes. So if I grow them for longer than a month, they get really, really big, and I don't have room for that in my house to have a small tree. So that is where the rest of the seeds will be going. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please like it. Please subscribe. Please let me know if you have any questions, any concerns, or any videos that you'd like to see me do. Take care now. I almost forgot. So where do I put this tray of peppers and tomatoes to sprout? I also put the entire tray next to the heating vent the same way I did the peppers in the bags. So almost forgot to tell you that. That was an important part. The heat will definitely make the peppers sprout faster, unless you want to invest in a heat mat. A lot of people want to invest in that, but it's winter, it's Wisconsin. The heat is already running, so might as well use it. So thank you.